It only took one casual dinner party, one stupid joke, and suddenly, my husband's double life came crashing down. You know how you can go through your day thinking everything's normal? Like, you're making dinner, talking about bills, planning that weekend trip, and then, bam. One sentence. One laugh. One look. And your whole world flips upside down. That's what happened to me. My name's Kaylani Freeman. I'm 30. I was married to this man named Jace Rangel. 34. Tall, smooth, the type who never forgot a birthday. We'd been married for 5 years. Solid, or so I thought. We got invited to this small dinner party. Just a few friends, nothing fancy. Violet, Sebastian, Otto, all familiar faces. But there was this one woman I didn't recognize. She walked in like she belonged there. Sat next to Jace. And the way she touched his arm when she laughed. Yeah. My gut instantly twisted. Then she made this offhand joke. Something about how Jace always forgets his towel when he showers at her place. Everyone laughed. But he laughed too loud. Too real. I remember looking at him and thinking, what the hell did I just hear? In that moment, I wasn't Kaylani the wife anymore. I was Kaylani the woman realizing her marriage wasn't what she thought it was. Let me ask you something. What would you do if your whole marriage unraveled over one dinner? Be honest, would you confront them right then and there? Or would you wait and plot your next move? Speech balloon, drop a yes or a no in the comments. And while you're here, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because trust me, you're gonna want to see how this one ends. I met Jace Rangel when I was 22. I was a broke communications major crashing a business networking event at my college just for the free food, and he was the guy at the back of the room everyone kept gravitating to. He had that energy, confident without trying, always knowing the right thing to say. Jace wasn't just charming, he was magnetic. He had this calm swagger, and the way he looked at me that night. I swear, I felt like the only woman in the world. We talked for 3 hours that night. About dreams, family, what kind of sushi we liked, you name it. He walked me to my dorm like some kind of movie character, and before I even closed the door, I knew I was done for. We started dating fast. It was intense. He would surprise me with coffee during finals, leave notes in my coat pocket, send me playlists with sappy little captions like "for when you miss me but won't admit it." He had game, and he knew it. After a few months, he introduced me to his best friend, Bennett Sanford. Bennett was the total opposite, loud, hilarious, always slightly buzzed off something, but loyal to a fault. Then there was Gloria Powell, this sharp, stunning woman he worked with. She was always polished, and I'll be honest, a little intimidating. But Jace made it clear, she was just a coworker. Our circle grew from there. Otto Madden, Jace's gym buddy who had a protein shake glued to his hand. Violet Farrell, my ride or die, the one I could ugly cry with after a bad day. And then Emerald Robles, a mutual friend who kind of floated between all of us, funny, sweet, never without some kind of drama trailing behind her. It felt like we had our own little world, our tribe. We took weekend trips together. Did game nights. Planned birthday surprises. It was one of those rare setups where everyone clicked. Jace fit right into my life, and I fit into his. We got married 3 years in. Small ceremony. Just close friends and family. He cried when I walked down the aisle. Like, full-on tears. I remember thinking, this is it. I hit the jackpot. And for a long time, things were good. Like, really good. He was supportive. He celebrated every little win. He made me feel like I mattered. Like we were a team. But the thing about fairy tales? Sometimes the scariest part isn't the villain, it's realizing the prince you married was wearing a mask the whole time. The first red flag wasn't even a flag. It was more like a tiny thread coming loose, so small, I barely noticed. Jace came home late one Tuesday. He said it was work. Just some client dinner that ran long. He even brought me dessert from the restaurant, like a peace offering. But then it happened again. Thursday. Then the next Monday. Always last-minute meetings. Always dinners. Always something. I tried not to overthink it. He worked in finance, that world's intense. Deals, deadlines, the whole grind. Still, he used to text me when he'd be late. Now, hours would pass and I'd hear nothing. Just the sound of the garage door opening when he finally got home. Then his phone started living face down on the counter. Not locked up or hidden, just flipped over. Like it was nothing. But I noticed. We all notice. One night, I made a joke, something dumb like, "What, you hiding your secret double life from me now?" He laughed, a little too hard. Then kissed my forehead and walked off like he didn't just stab me with weird vibes. A couple weeks later, Violet and I were getting coffee when she said, "I saw Jace at Luna Cafe yesterday. He was with some woman, didn't look like a meeting." My stomach dropped. Luna Cafe isn't where you go to talk numbers. It's quiet, tucked away, romantic. Jace and I used to go there on anniversaries. When I asked him, he barely blinked. Oh yeah, that was Gloria. She needed help with some budget stuff. Last-minute thing. Smooth. No hesitation. I believed him. Because I wanted to believe him. I told myself Violet was probably mistaken. That maybe she saw it from a weird angle. That Jace wouldn't do that. But then came the work trips. He started traveling more, Dallas, Denver, even Atlanta once. Always with one day's notice. Always conveniently when I had my own things going on. I remember standing in the kitchen, suitcase by the door, him kissing me goodbye, and something just fell off. He looked me in the eyes and said, "You're my whole world, Kay." And for a split second, I believed him. But something inside me, deep down, started whispering, "This isn't right." And the worst part? I ignored it. I convinced myself I was just being dramatic. Just insecure. It's scary how easy it is to gaslight yourself when you love someone. After the work trips started piling up, Jace added a new habit to the mix, early morning gym sessions. Like 5 a.m. kind of early. He'd roll out of bed, barely say a word, grab his bag, and vanish. No goodbye kiss. No check-in afterward. Just gone. I asked him once, "Since when are you the type to work out before sunrise?" He said something like, "It clears my head. I need the discipline." But I'd known this man for years. The only thing he used to do at 5 a.m. was hit snooze 3 times. Then came the weirdest moment, the day he forgot our anniversary. We were supposed to have dinner at this cute little rooftop spot in the city. He booked it last year. Had it saved in his calendar. Or, at least, I thought he did. I got dressed. Did my makeup. Sat on the couch for 45 minutes, before realizing he wasn't coming. He called me around 9 p.m. I picked up thinking there was an emergency. Nope. He sounded breathless, like he'd been running. Said, "Oh my God, Kay. I messed up. Work was insane. I forgot. I'm so sorry." The next day, he sent flowers. Not roses. Not my favorites. Just a random bouquet like he picked it off some online discount site. I tried to brush it off. Again. Because that's what you do when you love someone. You make excuses for their behavior. You believe they didn't mean it. Then came promise. I was looking for a recipe on my iPad, the the one we both used, when his WhatsApp notifications started popping up. Just name after name, and then promise. That one stopped me cold. Not a name you forget. The first message preview said, "I miss your voice." And the next? "Last night was everything." My heart jumped. My brain tried to logic its way out. Maybe it's a friend joking. Maybe he's helping a client through something personal. Maybe. I asked Jace about it that night. Straight up. I said, "Whose promise? Why is she messaging you like that?" He barely flinched. Took a long breath and said, "She's a client. She's going through a breakup. It's complicated. I've been trying to help her figure out her finances and she leans on me emotionally sometimes." Yeah. Sure. Emotional support on WhatsApp at 1 a.m. Classic client services. I didn't press it. But I saved the number. I screen recorded the message previews. And that night, I slept with one eye open. Because no matter how many excuses he gave me, his energy didn't lie. His behavior didn't lie. And those flowers? They weren't guilt flowers. They were cover-up flowers. My marriage wasn't just drifting. It was sinking. And Jace? He was the one drilling the holes. After the promise situation, I couldn't shake the feeling. You know that gnawing instinct? The one that doesn't let you sleep because something feels off and no one else seems to see it? I finally told someone, my cousin Nathalia Acevedo. She's always been blunt, zero filter. I sat on her couch with a glass of wine and spilled everything. The texts, the missed anniversary, the weird gym times. She didn't even blink before saying, "Girl, you need to go through his phone. Tonight. I don't care how you do it. Just do it. Something's not right." Now, I've never been the snooping type. I used to believe that if you had to check someone's phone, the relationship was already broken. But Nathalia just looked at me and said, "Then find out how broken it is." That night, Jace came home late again. He showered, tossed his phone on the dresser like always, and passed out within seconds. I stared at that phone like it was a ticking bomb. My heart was racing. My hands were sweating. But I picked it up. It was locked. Obviously. But then I remembered, we shared the same 4-digit passcode once, for an app we used for grocery lists. I tried it. It worked. I didn't even have to dig far. The WhatsApp app was right there. Open conversations with names like Arturo Larson, Ty Good, and Promise Jackson. The first thing I saw was a photo. Just her hand, fingers laced with his. Then came the texts. "I miss your hands. Last night was everything. You smelled like me this morning." I felt the floor disappear under me. I sat on the edge of the bed, phone in hand, watching Jay snore softly like he hadn't just wrecked our entire life. Promise Jackson wasn't just a client. She was his escape. His fantasy. His other life. And what really broke me wasn't even the cheating, it was the intimacy. The way he wrote to her. Like he cared. Like he missed her. He hadn't looked at me like that in months. I didn't sleep that night. I just stared at the ceiling, wondering how I'd been so blind. Wondering how many of our friends knew. Wondering if this was the only woman, or just the only one dumb enough to leave receipts. By sunrise, something inside me snapped. The sadness was still there, but it was getting smaller. The fire was taking over. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to cry in front of him. I was going to watch. Gather evidence. Piece it all together. Because if Jace wanted to live a double life, I was going to be the one to set it on fire. A week after finding the texts, I was still pretending. Still cooking him breakfast. Still smiling. Still letting him believe he was getting away with it. I was waiting. Watching. Gathering. And then came the dinner invite. Hey girl, we're doing something small at Sebastian Manning's place. Just a chill dinner, drinks, vibes, catching up. Bring Jace. I agreed without hesitation. I needed to see how he acted around other people, how he performed in front of our friends. But then, Jace did something weird. He asked if Promise Jackson could come. She's new in town, he said. She doesn't know anyone. The audacity almost made me laugh out loud. But I just nodded. Sure. Bring her. Violet greeted us at the door, radiant and buzzed on red wine. Promise arrived shortly after. She was beautiful, not in a loud way. In a calculated, soft glam sort of way. The kind of woman who knew exactly how to turn heads without seeming like she was trying. She made herself comfortable. Too comfortable. And Jace? He hovered around her like she was some precious museum piece. He thought he was subtle. He wasn't. Things were fine until dessert. That's when Promise started talking about some beach weekend. She said it casually, like she forgot who was sitting at the table. Oh my God, Jace, remember that weekend in Santa Monica? That Airbnb with the broken hot tub? The table went quiet. I didn't say anything. Just stared at her, then at him. Jace's laugh was immediate, loud, forced. She's joking, babe. He reached for his drink. But his eyes betrayed him. They went wide for a split second before he tried to laugh it off again. He wasn't even good at lying anymore. I locked eyes with Promise, and she froze. Just for a second. Just long enough to know she'd messed up. I didn't ask about the beach. I didn't demand answers. I just smiled. A tight-lipped, knowing smile. And in that moment, I could feel it. The power had shifted. Jace knew I knew. Promise knew she wasn't invisible anymore. And I was done playing nice. We stayed for another hour. I even offered to help clean up. Jace tried to act normal, but he couldn't stop checking on me. He leaned over at one point and whispered, "You okay?" I smiled and said, "Never better." But inside, I was already planning. I didn't want a confrontation. Not yet. I wanted a stage. A moment he'd never forget. I didn't confront him that night at the dinner. I waited. I needed him to think I believed his lie, that I was still the clueless, trusting wife he'd been playing all this time. But once we were home, in our bedroom, doors shut behind us. I turned to him. Jace was taking off his shoes when I said it, calm, straight to the point. Who is Promise, really? He paused, foot midair, sock half on. Looked at me like I'd just asked if the sky was purple. What? What do you mean? I tilted my head. Still calm. Don't play dumb, Jace. Who is she? He laughed. That nervous little chuckle he does when he's cornered. Kehlani, babe, she's a client. I told you that. You heard her at dinner, she's just dramatic, it was a joke. I didn't say anything. I just handed him the printouts. Messages I had copied from his WhatsApp when he left his laptop open one night. He looked at them, and he froze. I miss your hands. Last night was everything. When can I have you again? His fingers trembled holding the papers. And in that moment, I didn't feel pain. I felt power. He didn't speak for a full minute. Just sat there, holding the evidence like it might vanish if he blinked long enough. Then, finally, he whispered it. It's been going on for a few months. 6, maybe a bit more. 6 months. Half a year of lies. Half a year of slipping into bed next to me while texting her. I asked how they met. He said it so plainly, it made me sick. At the gym. Otto introduced us. My stomach dropped. Otto Madden. His gym buddy. The one who always said, "You've got a good one, Jace, don't mess it up." The one who fist bumped me at our wedding and said, "Welcome to the family." They'd all been smiling in my face. He said he didn't mean for it to happen. That it just got out of hand. That promise made him feel seen. That things had felt stale between us. That's when I snapped. Stale? You mean life? Bills? Dinner? My loyalty? You mean marriage? I was shaking. Not from sadness. From rage. This man had the nerve to blame me for his cowardice. Get out. Go stay with Promise. Or Otto. Or whoever's helping you lie to my face. He begged. Said it was a mistake. That he'd fix it. But I was done. This wasn't a mistake. This was a decision. Repeated. Every single day. For 6 months. That night, Jay slept on the couch. The next day, he was gone before I woke up. But that wasn't the end. Not even close. Because I had more questions. And there were still people who needed to answer for the parts they played in this mess. The morning after I kicked Jace out, I texted him exactly 4 words. You have until noon. He didn't reply. I didn't care. By 12:01, his key didn't work anymore. I wasn't going to wait around for him to pack up his lies. I dumped a box of his essentials, some clothes, his laptop charger, and his toothbrush. Left it outside our door like he was an Amazon return I no longer wanted. I told my mom, Jennifer Mora, everything. And let me tell you, there's no fury like a Latina mom whose daughter's been wronged. Mija, he thought he could fool you? He doesn't deserve a woman like you. She came over the next day with arroz con pollo and rage in her eyes. And that's when I knew I wasn't alone in this. Jace tried to control the story. Started telling people I'd been distant, that we were taking a break and things got complicated. But it was too late. Word travels fast when you mess up in a small enough circle. Gloria didn't even wait for me to bring it up. She looked me dead in the eye and said, I just want you to know, Promise told us everything. He said you two were separated. He made it sound like you'd moved on. I just stared at her. This man wasn't just a cheater, he was a full-blown fiction writer. Turns out, Promise wasn't even the villain she thought she was. She dumped him too. Said, and I quote, I didn't sign up to be the other woman. If I'd known he had a wife, I would have run the other way. Apparently Jace told her we were basically divorced and just working out paperwork. Classic. Hey, I just want you to know I had no idea. A bunch of us were shocked when Promise showed up at the team dinner. He played us all. Even his friends were turning their backs. Jace thought he could juggle lies, women, and reality like it was a game. But when the truth hit, it hit hard. Promise blocked him. His co-workers avoided him. His boss, Gordon Hayes, caught wind of the drama and took him off a major account. Said he was too much of a liability for client-facing roles. Even Otto Madden, his boy, ghosted him when things got messy. That was the thing about Jace. He thought he was untouchable. That he could build his little kingdom on secrets and charm. But the minute I stopped protecting his reputation, it all came tumbling down. And honestly, Watching it fall was the most peace I'd felt in months. They say karma takes time. For me? She showed up fast, and she came in heels. After everything fell apart, I remembered one very important detail. Arturo Larson, Jace's boss? He plays golf with my dad every other weekend. So I did what any self-respecting, emotionally devastated but low-key powerful woman would do. I sent the receipts. I didn't say much. Just attached the screenshots and typed. Thought you should know how your employee represents your firm after hours. Best, Kaylani. That email was opened in under 5 minutes. The subject line? Conduct unbecoming. Sweetheart, Arturo says he's handling it. He's embarrassed on behalf of the whole team. Jace didn't get fired, but let's just say he wasn't giving presentations anymore. They bumped him into internal reporting. No client-facing anything. No business trips. No big bonuses. He basically went from being a golden boy to the office intern with a nice tie. Meanwhile, I was in my glow-up era. Full throttle. New hair, new clothes, new confidence. I started going out again, with my girls Elena Gregory and Eden Meyer. Brunches, rooftop bars, wine nights. The kind of social life that makes your ex lurk your stories at 2 a.m. And just when I thought it couldn't get juicier, I ran into Dakari Mahoney, who just so happened to be Jace's ex-college rival. Finance bros, long history, lots of ego clashes. Dakari asked me to dinner. I said yes. We went. He posted a photo. Tagged me. Jace saw it. How do I know? He liked it. Then unliked it. You know that move. That accidental slip of the thumb when your heart's on fire but your pride's in the way? Yeah. That. I didn't post anything shady. I didn't call him out. But I did write one caption that got everyone talking. The glow-up hits different when you leave behind what was dimming your light. Over 300 likes. A bunch of comments. And silence, from Jace. I wasn't trying to ruin him. I just wanted the truth to exist in the world. And once it did all the work for me. It's wild how quiet everything feels after a storm. No more yelling. No more lies. Just you. Sitting with yourself. And for the first time, really listening. After Jace was gone, I didn't even know who I was anymore. I'd spent so long being someone's wife, someone's fixer, someone's plan B, that I forgot I used to have dreams. And a paintbrush. So I started therapy. With this incredible woman, Sarah Hammond. She didn't tell me what to do. She just asked the right questions. The ones that made my voice shake when I answered. Sarah asked me to write down everything I thought I should be. And then write who I really wanted to be. That list changed everything. I pulled my art supplies out of storage. Started painting again, not for social media, not for approval, just for me. I started sleeping better. Laughing more. And one day, while grabbing coffee downtown, I bumped into someone I hadn't seen since college, Francis Hahn. Back then, he was the quiet guy in the back of our business class. Now? Still quiet. But kind. Gentle. Thoughtful in a way that felt safe. We talked for hours. First about nothing. Then about everything. He didn't ask me what happened with Jace. He didn't pry. He just listened. And for the first time in months, I smiled without faking it. We didn't rush anything. There were no grand declarations. Just little moments. A shared playlist. A walk in the park. His hand brushing mine. And honestly, That felt like the biggest victory of all. Healing isn't loud. It doesn't come with fireworks or applause. It looks like showing up for yourself every day. Saying no to the chaos and yes to the calm. Jace may have broken the version of me who tolerated crumbs. But he also set me free. Some people spend months building a lie. Planning every word, every cover story, every little excuse that buys them more time. But it only takes 1 second to expose it all. That 1 second changed everything. And if I hadn't trusted that tiny shift in his expression, I might still be sleeping next to a stranger. If something feels off, it probably is. Your gut doesn't lie. People do. Jace was a chapter. But he's not the story. Oh, and one last thing. I found out a few weeks ago. Promise wasn't even her real name. Her name is Whitney Maxwell. And she used to date Francis. Small world, right? Turns out betrayal doesn't always come from the people you expect. And sometimes, the person who helps you heal had to heal from the same person too. Have you ever caught someone in a lie that shattered everything? Drop your story in the comments. I read them all, and trust me, y'all are not alone. And if you haven't already, go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Because if you thought this was wild, just wait. Lies don't protect you forever. They only delay the consequences.